Hello everyone, welcome to Teach and Worthy Talk Wellbeing. This week, or this episode rather, because actually we don't separate them by weeks, but for this episode we're going to talk about goals. A few things around goals and how that can help you move forward. I'm Simon Worthy. My business is Catalyst Wellbeing. I'm a wellbeing and performance mindset coach. And I help people work towards the life that they want to live and overcome things like stress, anxiety and depression.
I'm David Williams from Power of One Fitness, and I'm a health and fitness professional and nutrition coach who absolutely believes that exercise along with good nutrition is medicine and can take you to a very healthy place mentally and physically.
Now I wonder if our one subscriber has noticed that we've actually swapped seats.
Yeah,
like to keep it fresh.
Cunning,
Fresh.
Actually, I don't know who they are, but I've got 5 subscribers on mine.
Have you really? I think I'm one of them, yeah.
Hey!
There we go. We've got one each at least.
Got one each, yes, fantastic.
So this episode we're going to talk about goals. And actually, for example, is a goal enough to achieve what you want to achieve? Now, I certainly remember going back a few years back now, reading, I think it was Clive Woodward's book, the old England rugby coach, and it talked a lot there about not focusing on the outcome, the goal that you want to achieve, but focusing on the processes that you need to put in place to do that. And I think you've probably experienced a similar thing in your line of work. That
absolutely. And one of the things that I always talk about is working on habits, focusing on habits rather than outcomes. It's great to have that overarching goal where you'd like to be once we've dug down and figured out why you want to get there, that we've talked about in previous episodes, but not focusing on that end outcome, but focusing on the habits that will get you there. Yeah,
no, I suppose to use a sporting analogy, whether it's rugby, football, netball, the goal that you're trying to achieve is to win that match. But if you focus on winning that match, is that going to help you win the match? Well, what's going to help you is making sure you're fit, you're well rested, nutrition is on point. How much practice have you put in? How much training are you doing on your skills?
Do you know what your teammates are doing?
Yeah, and then absolutely.
Do you know what the game plan is?
Tactics. If it's rugby, well, what have we got to do to win that game? Well, we've got to score tries. For example, we score more points than the other team. Well, how can we do that? We can do that through tries. How do we score tries? By moving forward, by passing the ball, creating space, moving into that space, supporting the ball carrier.
You've been reading the level 1 coaching manual.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, something that I was never able to do as a player, I might add. I was very good at running into things, but try scoring certainly wasn't my forte, I have to say. But So it's about breaking that goal down into tasks, into habits that you need to. There we go. Is another illegal word. Need to. If you want to achieve that goal, it is helpful to break it down into tasks, into habits that will help you achieve what it is you're trying to achieve.
Absolutely. So, talk about it all the time. Clients come and say, "I'd like to lose X number of pounds or kilos, or fit into these clothes." That's the end goal. And often they get dispirited because they keep stepping on a scale. And for whatever reason, the weight's not shifting as much as they think it should do. And there's that word "should" again that we talked about last episode. It's a horrible word. But if they focus instead of on the weight, but on the so weight is the outcome, but if they focus on the habits of moving as much as they can, doing some programmed exercise, portion size, still eating what they like but portion control, eating when they're hungry instead of on a regular basis, those are habits that you can control, and that will have a positive effect on the outcome.
And then it's about trusting the process. So not expecting results after 5 minutes perhaps, but
that's a whole different conversation.
It's trusting the process. So if my goal is weight loss, then okay, well if I eat the right things, if I move more, take more exercise, then over time I will probably achieve my goal. But there are other factors, obviously, as we've said before, that can affect that. So perhaps weight loss isn't a great example.
Well, but weight loss isn't a great example because often people will come. Well, I'm going to go on a soapbox in a minute. I'll rein myself in. Often people come with a weight loss goal, and because they're doing fantastic work in the gym and working through the habits really fantastically, but because muscle is denser than fat, they look fantastic. Their belt buckle says that they've leaned up, and they can look really good in whatever clothes they're wearing. But the scale says a different thing. I've only lost X, or I've put on a bit of weight, or I haven't lost any weight.
Yeah.
But my answer to that is always, have you looked in the mirror?
Yeah. So again, it's one of those things where perhaps it's more helpful to think, do I feel better? Have I got more energy? Absolutely. And I was having a conversation this morning, funnily enough, with somebody about, I think it was the 2000 Olympic 8-man rowing team. And I think the guy's name was Ben Hills Davis. I think it was. So apologies if I've got that wrong. And so in the lead up into the Olympics and throughout the Olympics, the goal was to win a gold medal, but that isn't necessarily something they're in control of. So they focused down on what they could control, and what they could control was making the boat go as fast as it possibly can. So they came up with this sort of question that they would always ask themselves: will it make the boat go faster? And
I like that.
So they had their goal continuously there in the back of their minds. And for example, I think there was some sort of function on at the beginning of the Olympics, and the team manager said, are we going to go to this function? And it was the night before they were racing in the morning, and the first question they asked themselves: if we go to this function, is it going to make the boat go faster tomorrow? And so no was the answer, so they didn't go. But it's a good example, I think, of keeping that goal. What is my goal? To make the boat go as fast as it possibly can. So every time I take a decision, is this going to help me make the boat go faster? So
you're looking at the processes, the habits that'll get you there, rather than the outcomes. You've got the outcome in mind. Yeah. But you're not focused on it.
No, the focus is each individual behaviour, habit, task that will help you achieve that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's no matter what your goal is. If it's to earn £1 million, if it's to win a gold medal, if it's to lose X number of pounds, if it's to, I don't know, whatever your goal is, great. Have that goal. Brilliant.
I just like the fact that you were looking at me when you said win a gold medal, so it helps me feel like that's achievable.
I'm sure I've got a chocolate one somewhere. No, but in all seriousness, it's that having goals is what allows you to achieve.
I think we're all different, and what works for one may not work for another, but I think generally, if I'm honest, I think that things have worked better in my life when I've worked towards something. So when I've consciously thought, what is it I'm trying to achieve here, and worked towards it, and as opposed to just kind of not necessarily drifting through life, but just stumbling through the day without a specific goal or a task, so I've certainly found I've been more successful in life. Obviously, depends how you deem successful. More productive. When I have worked towards a goal, been aware of what that goal is and what I need to do to achieve it, and then it's as I say,
that's key though, isn't it? Being aware of what you've got to do to get you to that goal, and that's where people often come unstuck. They don't know how to go through a process, or the goal is so big, it's scary.
Yeah, and that's where certainly for me, I do a lot of work with people on the coaching side of things. Is even if they're clear on a particular goal that they want to achieve, it's the breaking it down having somebody question and really sort of narrow that down into the tasks it takes to achieve that, and it's not telling people what the tasks are. It's working together, questioning them, and together coming up with those answers and those things to do. And
I think that's where support comes in.
Yeah,
it's important. And I don't know if you've read the book by Alan Deutschman, Change or Die.
No, it seems a bit harsh.
It is a harsh title, but it comes from the fact that some stupid percent, like it's over 91% of people in the States that have heart bypass surgery,
right,
are dead within 3 years.
Oh, okay.
Because they don't change their habits.
I see. Yeah.
And the surgeons say you must change, or you will die. Hence the title.
Yes. Yeah.
But then just go, you must change. Off you go.
Yeah.
And there's no support.
So they don't give them the tools and the knowledge to go and do that.
And there's a again, it's been a while since I read it, but there's a hospital in California, I'm going to guess, it could be wrong on that, forgive me if I am, but where they pair, or they buddy people up with other heart patients, and help each other through it as well, with advice from nutritionists and other things. So you've got accountability there, you've got advice from a professional who can help you on a constant, not on a constant basis, but they give them the advice, and then you, as within your little group, there's maybe not a pair, but maybe more, 3-4 people working together.
So you have a bit of peer mentoring going on there as well.
Absolutely.
People talking about their own experiences, things that they've tried. Yeah, and again, because one thing works for some person, it might not work for another, but it's about sharing those experiences.
Absolutely.
Looking at the different options and deciding what's right for you.
And the reason that, going back to where I started on this point was, sorry, I've drifted, we keep drifting, but the reason that I started down this point was about goals being so big and scary that they're not achievable. It's the whole thing, you must change or you will die. People do change for a month, 2 months, 3 months, and then relapse into old habits, because the whole mindset of you must change or you will die, that's a very negative thing, but it's also a huge thing, and the brain can't cope with that. So the book talks about, and I'm sure you do this on a regular basis, is reframing, rewording the goal into something positive, but something also reframing it into not you will die, but if you change, you can live.
Yeah, and then again, as we I think we said in the previous episode about the use of positive language. So you and it can depend on what you're motivated by, carrot or stick, but trying to focus on the positive outcome, that if you make these changes to your life, you're going to have more energy. You're going to feel better. And fundamentally, you're going to live a longer life, potentially.
Yeah.
And
but changing that around, but still focusing on the habits that will get you there.
Yes, yeah.
And changing the habits that will get you there, rather than the end. The end goal. Yeah, be mindful of it. But always be mindful of that end goal. But focus on the habits that will get you there.
Yeah, and it's no point each day focusing on, right, I've got to lose 2 inches off my stomach. It's okay, what can I do today that's going to help me towards the goal of losing 2 inches off my stomach, for example.
What will make the boat go faster? Yeah,
exactly that. And I think that's I just think that's a really good example.
That's awesome. I haven't heard that before. That's brilliant. I love that.
Yeah, no, it's really good. And I think just keeping that goal in mind, what it is you're trying to achieve. But I think also, I think I've said a few times about mindfulness, and it really is important. And being aware of what you're doing. So many of us can do things without thinking. We almost a reflex action to go to the fridge, to open a beer or pour a glass of wine or whatever it may be, and it's just being mindful. So again, just being mindful. Okay, if I open up this bottle of wine, is this helping me towards my goal?
Yeah.
And again, sometimes it's perfectly fine to have that glass of wine and bar of chocolate, whatever it may be, packet of crisps, but it's just be mindful of what we're doing.
Absolutely. And I always say to nutrition clients, we don't restrict anything when we're on coaching nutrition class. We might add stuff in, but exactly that. Be mindful of what you're eating.
Yeah.
Food and drink is a huge part of our culture, and all of our big feast days, festivals are all based around feasts and eating and Christmas and Easter and Thanksgiving if you're in the States. It's all based around food and drink, and no one wants to take that away from you. Because it's part of our culture. It's part of what makes us, and what, as we've talked briefly in another episode about how it's important to be sociable, and we talked about in this episode it's about the accountability of friends and everything else. You don't want to cut them out because
I think also there's a much wider sort of mental health conversation around food and drink, for example, because some of the reasons people overeat, it's because of depression, stress, anxiety. When we were young, how many of us, and when we have kids ourselves, we reward our children with a bar of chocolate, with a packet of crisps or a sweet or something like that. And so quite early on, you can start seeing how these habits come into play.
Yeah, and that's
where I want to feel good.
Yeah.
So I'll have a chocolate, a sweet, whatever
Absolutely.
it may be.
And we definitely do a much deeper dive into that in another episode.
Yeah.
And it is a big thing. So it's all about being able to change those habits and
absolutely.
to create the positive outcome that you want. But being aware of them as well. Being aware of your habits, because you can't change them unless you're aware of them, right? So.
And actually, knowing what to do in some ways can be the easy part. The hard part comes from making that choice.
Everybody knows that they've got to eat. Suppose they've got to, as that word, or should, or whatever, eat healthily, whatever that may be. But, I shouldn't eat that much, or there's whatever they feel they should do. Hate the word should. But they don't do it, and so that's another topic, great topic for another episode.
Yeah, it's changing those bad habits or replacing those bad habits with perhaps more helpful ones.
Yeah.
And again, maybe that's a better way of wording it. Is let's move away from the unhelpful habits and move towards ones that are more helpful in helping us achieve what we want to achieve.
Absolutely. So, getting back on topic with today on today's episode about goals.
Yes.
To sum up, goals, vitally important.
Yeah, vitally important. Having that sense of what it is you're trying to achieve at the back of your mind, throughout everything that you do, that will definitely, and more often than not, that will help you stay on track. Yeah. I think it's when we forget the goal and we lose track of it, and that can be through not identifying with the goal in the first place. So perhaps it's a goal that somebody's pushed onto us, but I think let's identify the goal first and foremost, and then keep it in the back of your mind in your everyday life.
And then to get to hit the goal, focus on habits, not the outcome.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you very much.
I'll see you in the next episode.
Take care.
Cheers.